So as I said, the definition of specific latent heat of boiling, and this one specific latent heat of boiling of water is 2268 joule per gram. What is the meaning of the statement? These are the two questions you must prepare for your exam. So what is the definition of specific latent heat of boiling? Amount of heat needed to convert, here you see, unit mass of liquid into gas at constant temperature, okay, is known as specific latent heat of boiling. Then what is the meaning of this statement? That specific latent heat of boiling of water is 2268 joule per gram. The meaning is 2268 joule of heat is needed to convert 1 gram of water into steam at 100 degree Celsius. Now, on the basis of kinetic theory of matter, how we can explain the specific latent heat, alright. That already at the beginning of change of state I told you that specific during the change of state what happens, temperature remain constant, okay, that therefore kinetic energy of the molecule remain constant, but potential energy of the molecule changes due to change in the intermolecular separation. So you see, when solid is converted into liquid, then what is happening? The intermolecular distance is increasing, means the position of the molecule changing. So what will happen? To increase the intermolecular distance between the molecules, certain amount of work has to be done, and that work is considered as the change in potential energy of the molecule. Now the question is, how the molecule is getting that energy, potential energy, that the heat energy provided, which we call the heat energy which is given to the substance in order to change the state, we call it as latent heat, alright. So this latent heat is increasing the potential energy, or we can say latent heat is doing the work to increase the intermolecular separation, and thereby we can say that latent heat is equal to the change in potential energy of the molecules, alright. So this is the way we can explain latent heat on the basis of kinetic theory of matter, alright. Now on this topic, how you generally get the question, you may get the question like this, that whenever there is a change in state, will the kinetic energy of the molecule change? Then what will be answer? No, kinetic energy of the molecule won't change, as during change of state temperature remain constant. Then the next part of the question will be, then what kind of change in energy takes place? Then you have to write that potential energy of the molecule changes as intermolecular separation changes when there is a change in state, alright. So you see, when solid is converted into liquid or liquid is converted into gas, then potential energy increases. In that case, heat is supplied from outside to the substance, alright. But when the reverse thing takes place, means gas is converted into liquid, liquid is converted into solid, in that case what happens? That intermolecular separation decreases. That's why what happened? That potential energy decreases, so heat is liberated or heat is released by the system, alright. So this is the basis of the latent heat on means from the point of view of kinetic theory of matter. Now specific latent heat of melting of ice is also very high, okay, 336000 joule per kg is the specific latent heat of melting of ice or specific latent heat of freezing of water, alright. So due to this high value of specific latent heat of melting, certain natural phenomena we can observe, alright. What are that? You will observe that on mountain, how the rivers are getting the water. You know that the snow on the mountain top, it melts slowly after getting the heat from the sun, and melting of the snow from mountain gives the continuous flow of water in rivers, isn't it? Now the question is that why all the ice present on the mountain do not melt at once. Why they melt slowly and give on supplying water, flowing water to the rivers. Alright, so you see this is such a nice science here, nice physics behind it. Because specific latent heat of melting of ice is how much? 336,000 joule per kg. Means 1 kg of ice, if you want to melt, then this is the heat to be supplied. Alright. Now the all ice present on the mountain top, they cannot get so much of heat at once from the sun. Alright, so it is due to the high specific latent heat of melting of ice, the snow on mountains does not melt all at once. Now if would that happen, it would have happened that all the ice are melting at a time, then what will happen? Flood, all the rivers will be flooded, and after that there will be no water. Isn't it? So you see, it's such a fantastic thing is that due to, so how to write the answer in exam? Highlight the keywords. The reason is ice has a high specific latent heat of melting. If possible, write down the value, and cannot remember, then don't write ulta pulta values. If you can remember the correct one, then only you write it. That's why I have kept it within bracket. Then you have to write the second point. As a result, ice melts into water slowly as it gets heat from the sun. The same reason that in cold countries, water in lakes and ponds does not freeze all at once. Alright, why it cannot freeze all at once? Here, although there are 2 points. First point is that if the entire water present into the lake and pond freezes, then what will happen? It will release a very large amount of heat to the surroundings. This is the first point. Second point, the moment, this one already 9th standard we studied. The moment what will happen? The uppermost layer which is releasing heat to the surrounding will be converted into ice. Then this layer of ice, what it will do? It will prevent the heat loss of remaining water here to the surroundings. Why? Because ice is a poor conductor of heat. So you see here, I have written the reason, written the causes point-wise. The reason is ice has a high specific latent heat of freezing, 336,000 joule per kg, and water has to release. Here instead of ice, it is better write down water. Sorry, you should write water. And water has to release a large amount of heat. So release a large amount of heat to the surroundings before freezing, and then write down the point. When a layer of ice is formed over the water surface, then it prevents loss of heat. It prevents loss of heat as ice is a bad conductor of heat. So these are the 2 examples. This is consequences of high specific latent heat of fusion or melting. Now it is our common experience that when guest comes and you serve the cold drinks, then you will see you add pieces of ice to the drink to make it cold, rather than adding ice cold water to it. Alright, why? Because we know that pieces of ice at 0 degree causes more cooling than 1 gram ice cold water at 0 degree Celsius. Now what is the cause? When you are adding ice, then you know specific latent heat of melting of ice is 336 joule per gram. What does it mean? 1 gram of ice piece, when it will melt, it will absorb 336 joule of heat from the drink. Alright, so it will cool down the drink, but if you just add ice cold water at 0 degree, then it will not absorb any heat from the drink, isn't it? So what you can write, what is the answer, how to write the answer point wise? Because 1 gram of ice at 0 degree absorbs 336 joule of heat energy from the drink to melt into water at 0 degree. So the drink releases an additional 336 joule of heat to 1 gram of ice at 0 degree than to 1 gram of ice cold water at 0 degree. Alright. Then next one, another one you will see, means we find in nature that in cold countries, when the ice present in the lake or anywhere, it starts melting, then the surrounding becomes very cold. Means when ice melts, then surrounding becomes very cold. Why? Because when ice melts, then to melt ice, it absorbs 336 joule per gram or 336,000 joule per kg of heat from the surrounding in order to melt. Alright, so you see ice is absorbing heat from the surrounding. So what will happen to the temperature of the surrounding? Temperature of the surrounding will fall and it will become cold. Alright, so how to write down point wise? Because when ice melts, it absorbs 336,000 joule per kg of heat from the surrounding. Okay, and as a result, surrounding becomes cold. Then another one, the same question, this the phenomena 4 and 5, they are almost same. That it is generally more cold after a hailstorm than during or before the hailstorm. Alright. Now after the hailstorm means what? The ice flakes, they are falling down, isn't it? Now when after the hailstorm, what happens? Ice starts melting. So when ice will melt, then what will happen? Ice will absorb 336,000 joule per kg of heat from the surroundings. Alright. So what will happen to the temperature of the surroundings? Temperature of the surrounding will decrease, and as a result, the surrounding will become cold. So these are the highlighted point, that because after the hailstorm, when ice melts, it absorbs 336,000 joule per kg of heat from the surroundings. So temperature of the surrounding falls and it becomes cold. Alright. So these are the natural consequences of high specific latent heat of melting of ice. Now next topic is heating curve. Alright, what is heating curve? When suppose you have taken certain substance, now you are continuously supplying heat to the substance, then what you will observe, that temperature of the substance will increase, then one time will come, there will be change in state. Whenever there is a change in state, temperature will remain constant. Then after the change in state, again the temperature will start rising. Okay. Now if you measure the temperature of the substance from time to time, and if you plot temperature versus time graph, then that is known as the heating curve. Now here, this is the heating curve of ice at 0 degree Celsius. So you see what you have taken? You have taken ice at 0 degree Celsius. Now you are supplying heat to the ice. So you see, first of all, what will happen? Ice at 0 degree, it will be converted into water at 0 degree Celsius. Alright. So you see, during from O to A, so that's why I have made it bold, because it is just coinciding with the x-axis. That's why this OA, during OA, what is happening? Temperature is remaining at 0 degree. Alright. So what is happening across OA? Ice at 0 degree is converted into water at 0 degree. Alright. So you can write here, in along OA, what is taking place? Melting taking place. Alright. Then you see, when it will come to the point A, then entire amount of ice is converted into water. Then also you are going on supplying heat energy. So what will happen? The temperature will increase from 0 degree. Then how long it will increase? It will increase till 100 degrees Celsius. This point corresponds to 100 degrees Celsius. Then means A to B, what is happening? Water at 0 degree is converted into water at 100 degrees Celsius. Now when the water will reach to the point B, then what will happen? If you supply heat at 100 degrees Celsius, water will be converted into water vapor, into steam. Alright, means boiling will take place. And how long the boiling will take place? Till the entire water converted into the water vapor. Alright, then after that after that the point C, if you just go on giving heat, what will happen? Temperature of the water vapor will increase. Alright. So here how the question comes, you may get like this, that the graph will be given and you have to write where the change in state takes place. So you see along OA melting taking place, along BC boiling taking place. Alright. And then what is the boiling point? You can find out from the heating curve. What is the boiling point? From, you just draw dotted line. Okay, along BC it is intersecting the temperature axis at 100 degrees Celsius. It means that 100 degrees Celsius is the boiling point of water. Alright, so heating curves help us to find out the melting point as well as boiling point. What will be the melting point? The temperature at which melting taking place. You see here, at which temperature melting taking place? 0 degrees Celsius. Okay. So these are the points, you write it down, that along OA what is happening? Along OA, ice at 0 degrees Celsius converted into water at 0 degrees Celsius. Alright. Means melting takes place. This is the way you must note down that what are the things happening in along the different parts of the graph. Then along AB what is happening? Water at 0 degrees Celsius converted into water at 100 degrees Celsius. Alright, means change in water, change in temperature of water taking place. Then BC, what is happening? Water at 100 degrees Celsius converted into water vapor or steam, you can write, at 100 degrees Celsius. It means boiling takes place. Alright. Then another question you can see, you see here when I have drawn the diagram, BC is parallel to the time axis, OA is the parallel to the time axis. So remember, in the heating curve, the region which is the part which is parallel to the time axis, that part represent change of state. Alright. And secondly, you observe the graph for melting of ice. This happens only for melting of ice. BC is 6 times bigger than OA. Alright. BC is almost 6 times OA. Alright. Now the question is why? Why BC I have drawn longer than OA? Because this is the reason, the specific latent heat of boiling. Okay, instead of writing specific latent heat, you can write only L also. What is the reason? This is the reason. L boiling. L boiling, what is the value? Write it down. 268 joule per gram. Alright. It is greater than L melting. How much is L melting? 336 joule per gram. So you see 2268 is almost 6 times 336. That's why BC is almost 6 times OA. So sometimes the question may come that this specific one will not be given. BC 6 into A, it will be given why BC is longer than OA. Alright, then this will be your answer. That latent heat of boiling is 2268 joule per gram, which is much higher than latent heat of melting, 336 joule per gram. Alright, so you must remember what are the points you can understand or you can get, what are the informations you can get from the heating curve. Next is cooling curve. So it is understood cooling curve means instead of supplying heat to a substance, you have taken certain substance and you are releasing heat from the substance, taking away heat from the substance. So substance is cooled down and then what will happen? There will be decrease in temperature as well as there will be change in state. So suppose you have taken what I can say, a substance at 130 degrees Celsius temperature. Suppose I am saying as for example. Then you are cooling it down. So what will happen? Temperature will decrease. So when the temperature will become 100 degrees Celsius, then what will happen? There will be a change in state, isn't it? means instead of boiling, what will happen? Condensation will take place. Alright. So you see here water vapor, it was water vapor here, then it is converted into water at 100 degree. Then again what will happen? Temperature of water will decrease. How long the temperature of water will decrease? Temperature of water will decrease till 0 degrees Celsius. Then what will happen? Melting will take place. Is that clear? Then after that also if you go on decreasing the temperature, then what will happen? The temperature of ice will decrease below 0 degrees Celsius. So here you see, here melting means you are taking away heat, so it will be not melting, I should write it as freezing or solidification will take place. Is that clear? So you see, from a cooling curve, again you are getting that change of state is occurring at the places where the lines are parallel to the time axis. This is one point. And then what is the condensation point? You see, 100 degrees Celsius. What is the freezing point? Then along this parallel line, you just extend it by dotted line till it cuts the temperature axis at one point. So that particular point will give you the freezing point. Alright. So this is the way heating curve, cooling curve help us to find out the condensation point, boiling point, freezing point, melting point, like that. Okay. So we have come to the end of the chapter. So please, this is a very important chapter. And another point is that those who are having numerical phobia, do not try to solve, do not try to answer the numerical in the calorimetry part in the optional portion, but in the compulsory part, means section 1, you will get question from the calorimetry. Then you will get the easy kind of numericals, formula based. You will get the questions on heat capacity, specific heat capacity, specific latent heat of melting. All the questions, as I said, important for your board exam. Please do learn it. And the most important part is make the notes in your study material notebook properly. Thank you, girls.